How's it going? My name's Andy Frasure. I was born in a Christian home, raised right, raised with good morals and values, but I kind of wanted to do what I wanted to do and blend into the world because being a Christian wasn't cool. I joined the Marine Corps when I was 17, right out of high school, and I turned 18 in boot camp and 19 on my first deployment in Iraq, and that's kind of where my testimony begins. I was involved in an IED incident on my first deployment, and after the blast I was blown about 15 feet on my face and realized that, war's not a joke. Then I went on my second deployment, second tour to Iraq, and that's when God really spared me. I mean, we were driving down a dirt road one day, like we'd done pretty much every day, and I woke up and I could smell burning steel and burning flesh, and I remember just checking my legs and arms and making sure everything was there, and all my magazines had got blown off my chest rig. I looked for my pistol and it was blown off my leg, it was gone. We got back to the base and saw the truck again. I took some pictures, and on the pictures you can see that there's shrapnel all around the turret where I was standing in, but I didn't get hit with anything. God spared my life once again for some reason. So after each deployment I would just come home with about 20 grand and just blow it all in alcohol in 6 months because I knew I was going back to Iraq, and that's kind of where I just stumbled a lot. So in late October I came up to Boise, and I hit the bar scenes hard, man. China Blue, Roddy's, the Bistro, you name it, I've been there, I've done it. I've closed the bars down, and I've lost my cards there, almost got DUIs and everything else. I gave my dad a call about a week into my detox program and my sobriety, and he immediately noticed that there was something new with me, something different, and he began to share with me what God was showing him. And as he did, I realized that where I was going in my life was what God was telling him, the same direction that I was going, and things were starting to jive. Last time I went to church, it was actually like Super Bowl Sunday a couple years before that, and this guy was way too nice, and he just made me mad, and I went directly to the bar and had a couple of double shots. And I found connections on Craigslist, and when I probably wasn't, I don't remember what I was looking for, but I'm sure it wasn't anything great. And something about it just drew my attention, and I clicked on it. And this is when I became sober, and I watched some of the videos. I watched the video on baggage, and I was just like, wow, I want to give my baggage up to God. I don't want that anymore. I don't need it. Finally ended up making it, and the first night I tried to go was a Sunday night, and it was the wrong night, so I had to wait an entire other week, and it just killed me. But when I finally got there, I was greeted by Dusty at the door, and he was just like, hey man, come, welcome here. And I was greeted by John. All the people were like, I wanted to know who I was and what my story was and why I was there and how did I find out about Connections, and it was just like a bunch of people with big open arms just welcomed me in. It was almost too much. I was just like, I just kind of want to be the loner guy in the back. I want to be baptized because it's one of those things that God said to do, basically, to show of faith and a show of your truth in His gospel, and it's one of those things that's affirming your dedication to His service and His will and His Spirit, and I'm excited to put my hands up and get cleansed of my sins and officially, in front of people say, hey, I'm a believer, and this is my statement here, and this is, my faith that's driving me to do this.
Andy, how long ago was it that you would say you kind of crossed that line and started chasing after God?
6 weeks, maybe.
6 weeks. And Andy is just on fire. And Andy, people are going to tell you that's going to wear off, and they're going to tell you that's going to go away. Bro, it's not. It's not, because God has more to give you than you're able to receive. So He's got more for you. He's got more for all of us. If I say this a lot, Andy, to our people. It's like God's got a message for you, just waiting on the messaging machine in your heart. If you take the time to listen, He's already left you a message. There's something He wants you to know. And Andy, God's got a ton for you, and I'm stoked. I'm stoked to know you. I'm honored to baptize you. So Andy, in front of all these people, are you saying that you've accepted Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, and you're chasing after Him with everything you got?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, brother. Well, I baptize you in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.